Alright guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, which is over here. If the hopper can work, but... Oh, what? Okay, it might be a Steam glitch, but whatever. So, I'm going to go ahead and review Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, because that is something I haven't done yet, and it feels like I just want to, get through that. So, I absolutely love Chapter 5. It's really good in my opinion, I never hated Poppy Playtime. To be fair, I did kind of not want to play Poppy Playtime when it was first announced, but in 2021, when it came out, I decided to play it because I thought it would be an interesting game. It turns out it was, and you guys may see I have a lot of playtime on it. It's mainly because, one, I usually go to this game for my AFK screen so my computer doesn't go into AFK saving screen because that usually bugs my computer. And two, it just feels like every time a chapter releases, it gets better. Controversial opinion for myself, I love Chapter 5. I don't see anything wrong with it. It may be controversial for you guys when I say this. However, I know you guys are probably going to mention, a lot of down parts about Chapter 5. But for me, in my personal opinion, I don't think anything's wrong with the chapter. But just wait until I get to the thing. So, Chapter 5, don't get me wrong, it does have a lot of excessive puzzles. It does have excessive puzzles, but to be honest about myself, where's the fun in a Poppy Playtime chapter if the game is just too easy? Because for a while, I've been a fan for Chapter 3, but I'm going to be on forward. It felt like the easiest chapter because the challenges were very easy for me. I didn't struggle one bit on it. Except the Catnap Final boss fight. On the Catnap Final boss fight, it can be hard if you don't know what you're doing, but if you catch on, it'll be an ease. The reason why Chapter 3 is known as peak horror, because it focuses on the atmosphere and the ambience of horror, feeling stalked and such because of Catnap. Catnap stalks his prey. Can I even go? That would be so nice if Steam could just... Okay, view DLC in store. There it is. So, never mind, it just takes me here. So, for Chapter 3, as you can see, it does have a lot of horror, and to be honest, the most thing I'm disturbed about this chapter is Dog Day. I've never imagined to see the smiley critters crawl inside someone and eat their insides to fully take over their body. I'm not scared about that. I'm just disturbed by it. I'm not saying this game is bad for it. I find this game fascinating because of the lore and everything. People just compare the FNAF lore to Poppy Playtime. I find it silly because Poppy Playtime does the lore differently. The prototype doesn't stuff people to suit. He turns those people into toys by, transferring their brain or something or whatever they do. I got that information mostly from Lily Lovebraids, which is the newer character for Chapter 5. So, that's how I feel about Chapter 3. Despite the game being too easy, I like the horror theme. Chapter 4 was a big step up. And it did definitely take trial and error for mob entertainment because, yes, it was rushed, buggy at launch, but the story was good. Don't get me wrong, the story was good, the puzzles were fun to solve. Except that boiler room puzzle, that was a big screw you figure it out part because it just feels like there was no instructions on where you're supposed to read to the gas. I don't hate Chapter 4 for that. I'm telling you guys, I don't hate the game for having excessive puzzles. Many of you guys do, and I'm not blaming you for it. But where's the fun in the game where it's just so easy? But I can agree for Chapter 5, it's less scary. It's because it feels like Mob decided to up the difficulty and put more into the puzzles rather than, the horror themes, But I don't think this chapter was rushed because I did play this on first launch. I live streamed this on February 18th when it first released. I had no lag issues, none of that, compared to Chapter 4. On Chapter 4, on first launch, when I was fighting Doey, I had tons of frame drops. He was stealing all my frames, and I tried restarting because I thought that was a bug thing for my computer. But no, it's actually the game. It's actually the game, and I'm pretty sure by chapter 6, or when there's going to be a final chapter for Poppy Playtime, I'm pretty sure Mob will go back to all these chapters and fix, issues like frame drops. So, yeah, I'm just saying I don't hate chapter 5 at all. I do not. I love it. It's very fascinating. I love the prototype design. I have seen tons of fan-made prototype designs. I always find that weird and inaccurate because why would you make a Call of Duty Skull version for the prototype in a toy factory? Because deeper or not, we are still in the toy factory in Poppy Playtime. So it wouldn't make sense for the prototype to just look like, oh, he's that giant skull from Call of Duty or whatever. I'm not hating on the fanmates, by the way. I'm not hating on the fanmates. I find them fascinating. I just find them extremely inaccurate because the gesture design for the prototype was actually teased in the lore. It was teased in the lore. And people say, well, it's better to show instead of, or like telling instead of showing. I personally don't hate the prototype design. I find it fascinating. And it's more accurate because, like, the prototype can just mimic voices. And on the credits for Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, the prototype has so many voice actors. Like, it feels like this DLC is definitely worth the $20 because Mob Entertainment, like it or not, companies, when they release games, they need to make enough money to pay their, actors and stuff back with the money. I might be wrong, but that is the reason behind companies. Mob Entertainment is a company as well. But for some reason, it just feels like Mob Entertainment is the only company I know that handles stuff differently because whenever they release a new chapter, like Poppy Playtime started off chapter 1 with just like 30-minute gameplay. Chapter 2, how do I describe chapter 2? I've not played chapter 2 for a long time, so I have no say to chapter 2 because I haven't played this chapter in a while and I don't want to accidentally diss it because some people like it. I don't hate chapter 2, but I do have mixed feelings, but I don't have a memory of playing this chapter because, to be fair, I played this chapter back in 2022. But I did make a live stream about playing all these chapters again. But other than that, a year is enough to make me forget about these chapters, and that's a problem for me. And that's why I need to revisit these chapters one point when a new chapter releases so I can remember the ending, like I did for chapter 5. Now, chapter 4. So, I don't hate the puzzles. They're a little easy, but I gotta be honest, Yardaby was the hardest monster in chapter 4 to deal with because, like, his AI is extremely sensitive, but it does require skill because, like, chapter 4 is more like a skill check chapter because it feels like chapters 4 and 5 are more like lore exploring because, chapter 1, 2, and 3, we need more lore because if Mob Entertainment is making 4 and 5 for lore exploring, that means that there's a lot more to the lore than we expected. And I think about this because chapter 4 and 5 difficulty has been quite high recently. I don't hate the game for that. And the reason why I've been searching up about chapter 5 a lot during my streams is because my eyes were not doing good during that day and I couldn't see everything clear. It wasn't the fact I was confused by the mechanics. It's because I couldn't see well. I couldn't see well during that day, so I didn't get stuck on the mechanics of the puzzles at all. It's just my eyesight was horrible during that day. So, yeah. And I also kind of want to talk about the part about Markiplier's opinions on it. I think Markiplier was just exhausted. He did make valid points, like, difficulty is not everyone's cup of tea when coming to Poppy Playtime, But I'm not gonna lie, I think Markiplier was just exhausted. Like Queso, even though I don't watch content creators very often because usually they just take another person's opinion. Like Queso said he liked the chapter, but when he saw Markiplier's reaction, that's when Queso started hating chapter 5. This is why I don't watch content creators at all. Because whenever they like something, they ended up hating something because it takes someone else's opinion. Like, don't just take someone else's opinions. Form your own. And my own opinion is that chapter 5 is good for me. I love it because I love the challenges. I felt a little scared about the chapter. And I love the prototype's design. So, that's all. Thank you.